Ah, there we go. Okay, so I was getting a few problems as I do. I can't seem to get this working all the time. So apologies for the slight delay in getting this going. If you saw my YouTube post like from an hour ago, I'll just spam it on the socials. Hey Oscar, I knew I could count on you, mate, to make me look popular. I'm just spamming the socials, mate. How's the audio as well? Because my missus bought me a adapter for the mic, so hopefully it's a bit nicer. Because I think I was using my phone one last time and it was awful. And it's good to be doing a live where I'm not having to moan about being banned from YouTube. We'll see how long that lasts. This on post. Really good, crisp and clear. That's what I like to hear. How are you, mate? How's the weather you're in? I saw the UK was hot, so I'm assuming your part of the world would be nice. One sec. So, what we're dealing with here. So these are the new Japanese, and I intend. There's lots of loose bits in this box, as you could probably hear. We need the infantry between. Oh yes, there's bits of tank and stuff. What's going on here? They look like infantry to me. Oh, yeah, it's not too bad. We're coming into our winter now, so it's just starting to cool down. I think we're about 25 degrees today, which was lovely. I'm not sweating for once. So I'm going to be having to work on some of these Japanese. Oh god. So these are the new Flames War Japanese. I'm also going to be getting your Numidians ready for painting some point tonight or tomorrow. Okay. So let's get some Japanese lads, chaps, crazy buggers painted up. Do they have any? I haven't actually checked these out yet. Let's have a good look at these. G'day Tony, happy Easter mate. Did you get lots of chockies? The Japanese and Marines are kind of interested in. Oh yeah, that'd be good. You could probably use the old Rising Storm rule set for that one as well. That was a good rule set. I love the Winter War Finns as well. I had loads of those, but I sold them. I kind of regret doing now. Sweets make you angry. And sick if you eat too many of them. Whoa. All right, we've lost a man. Oh no, we've lost an MG. There it is. Oh, okay. So the banner comes sculpted on to the model. Damn, I thought I'd be able to put a bit of paper on there. I wonder if anyone does a 15mm Japanese flag decal, because I don't fancy painting one, especially with that ball. Oh god. What else we got in here? Flamethrower? That's interesting. Guy with a... What on earth is this? I'm assuming it's a sword? Yes, but it's not in a sword shape. That's interesting. These are lovely, lovely figures though. Okay, so we want one of these guys because he's got the flag on his rifle. Let's get rid of you. You're boring. Do we have any guys with... Oh, there we go. Okay. So we got a guy running with a LMG. Guy firing with a flag on his thing. What about that guy, and... Cool, I think almost all the old books from V2. Oh, you're talking V2 days. Wow. Planning on doing Nips for Burma. Nips. You might have to fill me in on Nips. Maybe I've lost that one somewhere. I'm digging these oh, there's a guy. I'm digging these figures though. These are lovely Japanese models. Wow. Yeah, and you'll do for now. Let's put you back in there. Oh, Japanese Nippons. I will. My problem is, it will take me an eternity to complete an army. I'm not a quick painter at all by any stretch of the imagination. So the plan would be eventually to do a Japanese army for sure, because I've got the British already pretty much painted from before the release, because I just used old models. So yes, I definitely want to do a Japanese army, but I'm very lucky in the fact that everyone that's around in the gaming community here, there's I think 2 or 3 Japanese players already, which is quite unusual. So yeah. Slow painters unite. You know it, mate. You know it. Although I wouldn't classify you as a slow painter, because I think you smash out a lot more than I do, a lot quicker. It's all that beautiful US weather. Although we get it just as good here, I suppose. Yeah, Bunagona, I could do. That was the Aussies and the Yanks, and against the Japs, obviously. I don't know if I would do it though, because see, with the Pacific, I'm more about the British side of things. But maybe, obviously, if I've got the British models, they're pretty much the same thing. Although my British models are mixed of Indians, Gurkhas. I don't think I have any actual English or British infantry in my Flames of War Far East collection yet. I've just started with the Flames of War, with the new Flames of War dudes. You probably can't see them because it's dark, but they're British. So maybe if I can proxy them in, it would look a bit odd though. Indians running around in the PNG, but or in PNG, not the PNG. Yeah, that's a good call. Like editing does take a while. I've got to the point where I can edit a video from... I normally edit it, so I edit the footage, mash it all together, put all my images in, etc., etc. That takes about an hour. and then putting in all the audio. So then I have to record myself talking. That normally takes 3 or 4 hits because I don't like to do little bits where I go like blah blah blah, then trim that bit because I don't like it, then blah blah blah, trim that bit I don't like it. So I just normally like to do a full swing of talking. That's why my videos have got constant errors in them and I say stuff wrong and that's just me because I do it all the time. So it probably takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to do a video. And then you've got to upload it, then you've got to do the thumbnail. So yeah, live streaming might be the way to go, but then I'll never be able to get painting tutorials out. So, and that's my whole channel at the minute. So yeah, you've done the smart thing, mate. You planned this right. I certainly didn't. They are coming. I threw in some old late world bricks when they were sending you. Oh, sweet. Yeah, cool. Thanks, mate. I'm looking forward to getting those 8th Army lads because I'm going to be doing a early war British Far East tutorial, which are just the 8th Army, 8th Army figures. Basic, very, very minor details that would be missed, but you would never see them in a Flames of War tabletop. Yeah, my brain is, my mouth is always going a lot faster than my brain, and my brain's pretty bad as well. So when you mix the two together, yeah, it can really give you some fun times and some very frustrating times. Put it this way, I'm not very good in an interview. But yeah, as you can see, you could probably make out, I'm working on my 20mm British. Let's see if I can put the line in your face. You've got some AB figures, British Airborne. AB figures, man. Oh, I love me some AB figures. Then we've got the Flames of War stuff going on now. We've got a 20mm Grant Lee that I've got to paint up. He's base coated, decorated on. He was featured in a video recently. Got my epic American War of Independence or Revolutionary Wars. Those chaps. Got some 20mm British in Burma in India. Painting up, just got to paint the branches and such. So yeah, it's all going. Oh, now we're getting a few people come in. Good day, lads. Thanks for joining. Wargame and Baltazar. I love AB, man. AB awesome. I love the stuff you're putting out as well. Your Facebook page is awesome. I'm always so envious of your D-Day collection. I'm like, you need to send it to me or move to Perth so we can have a huge game. G'day, little Lances. Thanks for joining, mate. God, we're getting all the OGs in here. This is awesome. From Poland. That's somewhere I haven't been. I'd love to visit Poland. How is it in Poland today? Is the rest of Europe having some nice weather, or is it just the UK? G'day, Baron. Thanks for joining, mate. What's my thoughts on the 12mm exclusive scales? Look, Victrix do some lovely 12mm stuff. Lovely. They are really nice. If they made them in 15mm, I reckon they'll sell like hotcakes. But painting 12mm infantry there's an art to it, and I haven't got it. I haven't mastered it, not by any stretch of the imagination. So I find 15mm is probably the smallest I like to go, and 15mm is what the epic scale stuff's at. They might say that it's 13mm, but it's not. It's 15mm. They measure the exact same height as my Flames of War medal stuff. So they don't take too long to paint, whereas the 12mm stuff I think can be a bit tricky. And it's taken 4 to 5 years to get together. If you're back in the UK to Bristol for a game. Yeah, Bristol's quite far away from Leicester, but I think I would absolutely take you up on that offer because your collection, like I said, is fantastic. How's Dwarf's Drift coming along? I knew you were going to ask me that. I knew it, and it's not coming along. Right, it's not coming along. It's put on the back burner. Um, I managed to get my hands on the 20 mil set thanks to a Canadian friend of mine. He brought it over when he visited Australia, which was completely unexpected, but absolutely appreciated. But it's just collecting dust at the minute. And this is what happens. I get the urge. I'm like, I must do Rorke's Drift. I must do some Zulu stuff. And then I'm like, oh, actually, I've got so much more stuff I need to do. So yeah, maybe I'll get onto it soon. I'm not going to sell it though. Definitely not going to sell it. This will be my third set. So third time's the charm. I won't sell it. I'll definitely get around to paint it at some point. But I've still got the 20 mil building that's just sitting there collecting dust, which you can probably just see underneath the table there. Yeah, definitely my eyes don't like painting the smaller scale stuff. I painted some Fallschirmjäger of the 12 mil Victrix stuff, and they were like, people were commenting like, "Oh, when are you going to paint Splinter?" And I'm like, my eyes cannot do Splinter at 12 mil without like magnifying glasses, and I've got good vision. I don't use magnifying glasses or anything, but I just can't do it. Um, yeah, maybe Oakleaf. I think you maybe get away with Oakleaf, but Splinter in 12 mil. I mean, come on, that's just hard. That is just so hard. Yeah, they're definitely mixable with 15 mil. I mean, I can show you. Let's see. So this is a really good figure to compare. So this is the new or old Battlefront Japanese figure next to the Napoleonic Revolutionary Wars Warlord Games figures. You see they're almost identical in height when you remove the base. So yeah, it's pretty close. Hello, Ben. Thanks for joining, mate. Get yourself a lamp with a mag glass, made painting so much easier. But then I have to confirm that I need a magnifying glass. I love being able to brag to my older friends that I don't need a magnifying glass at the minute. Yeah, definitely mixable, mate. Definitely. And that might be good because some of the cavalry, like their infantry figures look great, but their cavalry figures are a bit. Should I get a sprue to try and tell you what or show you what I'm talking about? Somebody did mention this. Sorry about the shorts. Somebody did mention this. They're just a bit. They just look a bit odd. The way that they're. It's hard to show, but the way that they're. They just seem very squished. I think is the best way to describe it. So if you could get some metal cavalry figures and commanders, I think that'd be the way to go. But they are so detailed. Like looking at them now, they look so nice. But if you know me well enough, I'm pretty easy to please. They'd have to be terrible for me to be like, oh, these aren't very good, guys. I'm normally pretty lenient when it comes to my reviews, so it's probably not a good thing when I say I'm reviewing something because I always go with that thought process of I'm not smart enough to make this sort of stuff, and I've not got the eye to do all this detail. So if people can do it, that straight away gets a positive from me. The fact that they can even make this stuff. I know we're the consumer and we're putting our hard-earned cash into it, but it's definitely an art. I think needs to be respected. So it's very easy to be critical of something and be like, oh, well, it's missing detail, it's missing this, it's missing that. But the fact that they've even got something out is much more than I could ever do. That's for sure. Static up here. We're not 30 anymore. Embrace the back pain, reduce vision, and grunts when moving around. I've got the back pain. I've got the grunts. Although sometimes I swear I'm doing it just for the sake of doing it. No, definitely no magnifying glass yet. Maybe at some point soon, potentially. We'll see. Yeah, exactly. More options is good for a consumer. And you'll know what you like and what you don't like. So, my review videos always try and be happy. I'm not someone who likes to bash people and bash companies, and I'll be happy. And if they're sending me free samples, I'll obviously be respectful. I'll try not to bash them too much. And or I never bash, but constructive criticism. Um, but regardless if I say they're good or not, you're going to be able to tell in the video if they're shite, then you're just not going to buy them. And I've had a few, especially my 20 mil review series where I've reviewed them. I've gone, the rating I gave them probably was better than what they actually are, but that was like with hindsight. Yeah, exactly, Oscar. That sums it up perfectly, mate. I'll put mine near signing creating content and have a built-in +6 magnifying. Well, that'll explain why you get all the details you do. Although I did notice on my analytics on my YouTube channel, it shows that I think most of my viewers are like over 40. I think I think most of them are between is it 60 and 70 or 55 and 65, something like that. Which is interesting. So maybe when I'm that age, both my parents have glasses, so I know it's coming. I mean, I'm 33, so am I 33? Yeah, I'm 33, so I'm still relatively young, hopefully. I won't need glasses for another 10 years or so. And then that's when the magnifying glass will come into it, I'm sure. But now you've said that, I'm probably going to get one just to see how will it make much of a difference. It'll probably highlight my mistakes even more. So I might not like it. Or I might end up taking even longer to paint miniatures, which is definitely not something I want to do. 46 is when I started to use readers. Yeah, I think my parents were late 40s as well, so it's probably just natural, right? Even though strain my eyes if I'm painting too long now. Yeah. 50, I don't have a problem. I don't get eye strain or anything. I can pay for hours and hours and hours and I don't get eye strain. What I get is arse cheek pain. I just hate sitting down for too long. I think it's because my office job, I sit in an office for most of the day, so um, my bum just starts to get numb and I just need to move around. But that's if I do a good sesh of painting. Thanks. That's my wife. Thank you for that. Um, Still feel like the site is getting better only when painting 15 mil and smaller. Yeah, and that's the same as me, right? If I start painting anything smaller than 15 mil, I think anyone even with really good eyesight, you start getting a bit cross-eyed and stuff because you're painting stuff and I don't even know what I'm actually painting at this point, especially like those crazy blokes that paint the 6 mil infantry and stuff. I just don't know how they do it. Yeah, you enjoy the wonderful castings more when you magnify. Okay, all right. I imagine I'd see some more details in the AB figures models. I mean, a magnifying glasses would probably be good because there is the odd time where I look at something and go, even with AB figures, I'm like, what exactly is that? Because it's so small. I don't know. Have you done a British DPM tutorial? No. I did have planned to do one for the Falklands. DPM. Am I getting this right? Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. DPM. Camo. No, haven't DPM. I was going to do one for the Falklands, but that's just gone to shit. So I do have the figures, the 28 mil Empress SAS figures for the Cold War, which I think were for the Falklands, if I'm not mistaken, if they're Emperors. So I will get around to doing that one day. My problem is those sorts of tutorials, so like my Vietnam stuff, my modern stuff, doesn't seem to, like my Chindits, like yesterday's video didn't do well at all, doesn't seem to attract too many viewers. And at the moment, I'm really into trying to build the channel. Like I really want to hit 10,000 subscribers. Um, so I'm trying to focus on stuff that's going to be popular. But yeah, maybe British DPM will be. I'll put it on the list. I'll put it on the list. Although the list is ever growing. And I don't know how many more times I can paint British Airborne, but I'm like obsessed with painting British Airborne. So we'll probably see another 20 British Airborne tutorials. But DPM shouldn't be too difficult to paint. I mean, just even by looking at it, I'd go with like flat brown, black, refractive green, and khaki. That would probably be my colours I would go from Vallejo if I was just to do it off the top of my head now. If you're doing the woodland um, scheme here, maybe Russian uniform because it is but that photo is quite light, but this photo is quite dark. You could even go with like burnt umber because that's a dark, depending on what, if you're using, it depends because there's quite a few different types. If I go off the Wikipedia um, image that they got here, that brown, yeah, maybe not flat brown, maybe mahogany brown or saddle brown. Yeah, pretty much what I'd put on the Denison Smocks is saddle brown, refractive green, but maybe I'll change that to Russian uniform. I'll test it out. Russian uniform might be too light. Obviously black being black. And then khaki, but you could maybe mix in a little tiny bit of Iraqi sand just to give it a bit of a brighter tone to it. Yep, I've got the Battlefield Japanese. That's what I intended to start doing, but because we've got quite a few people in the chat, I'm going to do these tomorrow. Not painting, getting them ready to paint. So the painting tutorial will be filmed this week. British Airborne at the moment, you have to paint them. I'm assuming, well, what are you painting? 15mm, 20mm, 28mm? Because there's some lovely 28mm. You've got Paul Hicks's superb Arnhem Heroes figures. Then you've got the 20mm AB figures and CP miniatures, as well as Simon Soldiers. There's some lovely 20mm stuff out there as well. And then you're playing the 50mm Old Battlefront medals. Can't go wrong with them. I've been getting an itch for the Crimea Wars. I don't know where you could go for models and any good systems. I wouldn't have a clue. But I know you've asked the chat, so it's irrelevant what I say. The more niche, then it makes sense to focus on the popular stuff. Yeah, there is a degree to that, but then also don't want to be just those same old channels that focus on the same old stuff and you get the same old videos. Like I've been toying up with the idea of, do I do like a one-off fantasy video? I was gifted a whole lot of Warhammer 40k stuff, and I don't know anything about Warhammer 40k. I played it once when I was very young. I think I had a very small Imperial Guards army. So I'm unsure if I'm going to do like a once-off, once a month, here's a Warhammer thing to attract some new people. Do I do like here's an Imperial Guard painted up in a oak leaf uniform, make my own spin on oak leaf. I don't know. To attract some viewers, and then that way, if I get a really popular video going, that way I can do some niche videos to make up for it. I don't know. I'm toying with all these ideas, but I'm trying to keep it more historically themed. I mean, painting Panzers would suggest that all I do is paint vehicles, which I don't really do too much of these days. It's mainly uniforms because that's what people want. I've put polls out. Everyone just wants uniforms painted up, and that suits me perfectly fine because I love painting up different uniform types. Speaking of 170, Streetlet's figures look incredible for Crimea. Every damn figure is a different pose. Yeah, you do pull out some good figures from those like plastic ranges. I've been enjoying the Italieri figures or Esky figures. They actually mix quite well. Let me get the... Let's have a look here. You know it's bad when you're having to go into the glass cabinet, and it's not the drinking cabinet, it's the wargaming cabinet, which would make most people sick. So I figure out that. Go side by side with an AB Figures para. From a distance, they don't actually look too bad. I mean, it's probably a terrible camera, but the photo I took, and when I've put them side by side in the glass cabinet, they actually look alright. It's only when you get them like front on, you go, side on, you go, okay, that's a plastic figure. You see a dirty, great big seam line going through it because you can't get rid of it because it's so bloody deep and goes through the helmet netting and such. But I think on a gaming table, they're going to look fine. I'm pretty happy with him. I'm going to throw him in there with my AB figures just so I don't put him to waste, at least anyway. You got to have the sexy shorts, Oscar. You got to have this. At least they don't have holes in them. So consider yourself lucky that you get in the Star Wars shorts. Oh, and a broken glass apparently. Yes, I use Plastic Soldier Review for a lot of what I've been buying because there's some absolute junk out there in this soft plastic form. I've just been saying about how I don't criticize, but yeah, there is some soft plastic where I go, oh, that's not good. Doing the odd single Warhammer figure may be a good idea. It will help the channel, but also break up painting all historical, as you can paint however you like rather than having to follow reality. And that's what appeals to me if I was to do that. And it does get quite samey painting olive drab or khaki or, you know, here's how I paint oak leaf. Here's how I paint oak leaf in a 28mm. Here's how I paint oak leaf in a 20mm. 15mm, whatever it is, it does get very samey. However, I enjoy it. Whereas I'm not sure if the enjoyment would be there for Warhammer. And I'd like to keep it somewhat historically based. And I have to use that word very, very lightly. But have a historical element to it to at least keep it relevant. 50 Shades of Camo Green. Exactly. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to paint. Like, I've painted my Chindits and 14th Army figures up in different shades of green for different tutorials, just to give you guys options of what you can do. G'day, Jeff. Painting 40k figures in historical uniforms would be a different crossover. Yeah, I think it'd be very niche. Would it catch on? I don't know. Is it worth trying? Yeah, probably. I think so. Do I have the figures? No. I was gifted a whole lot of, I think it's pronounced Tau, and then some guys that look like Romans on speed bikes. I don't know. I don't know what they are. They're literally just Roman centurions on the speed bikes. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe them. Can't count how many green paints I own. Yeah, I literally have every shade of green I think Vallejo offer, and I've used them all in my painting tutorials. Oh, for that reason, mine is still medieval looking, but it gives you a break without commitment for the old model. Exactly, yeah. And I remember when I lived in Leicester, oh god, this is going back to like 2000 or something, going into the Games Workshop store and they were promoting Warhammer. And I remember seeing those Bretons or whatever you call them, Bretonians or whatever. And I straight away thought they were medieval being a kid. I didn't realize until I saw the like flying horse. I was like, okay, this is where they've taken a bit of a historical edge away from these figures. Realized 40% of my paints were different shades of green. It's an addiction. It's a massive addiction. Yeah. The joys of being a historical war gamer. There's some cool orcs in German World War One uniforms. I did see Warhammer release some like, they look like Germans in grey coats with gas masks on, I think. I saw that come up and I went, oh, they might be good. Actually, one of the guys on the Discord, one of the patrons, was promoting his one on there, and they looked awesome. It looked like an old World War One gun in a trench with World War One sort of German uniforms. So it looked pretty cool. Space Marines as Wehrmacht. Just watch it. Just watch it with the Marines. And I know how delicate some of those Warhammer gamers can be. I've seen some videos where I think there was one guy carrying on about how he doesn't like historical war gamers because we're all like we all believe in bad ideologies if you paint Germans or war game with German. He was going on with some rubbish at least anyway. And I know there's some touchy people in there. So I'm like, oh, if I start painting them in Oakleaf, am I going to get those sour people come in and be like, you shouldn't be doing that, blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to attract negativity if I can help it. Death Corpse of Krieg. Ah, a Krieg. Okay. That might be worth doing because they do look historical. But then I've also noticed with Warhammer, there's a certain technique to painting which I don't do. Um, their painting technique is completely apart from the way I paint. So again, will that take away from people wanting to follow? I don't know. So another channel that someone from Models for Heroes Chariot had painted up Eldar Royalty Universe alongside an LVT Buffalo converted for 40k weapons. Now that is different. Every time you paint some historical bad guys, there's an opportunity to bring to light the evil of the ideology. Yeah, yeah. But I think being historical painters, we appreciate history, regardless of if it was nasty or not. You know, I always like to think of would my ancestors that fought in World War One, World War Two, and God knows what ancestors I had before them being British born and bred, would they look at me differently because I'm painting up Germans in SS uniforms, for example? But there's a massive difference between painting them up in SS uniforms and then going, right, well, actually, I support their ideology and I want to go and sing from the rooftops how great they were. Whereas I'm just going, no, I want to paint their uniform. I want to game with them to represent this particular battle or a particular period of history. But that's it. I'm not actually going, oh, actually, I really support these guys. Yeah, using Volksstimmung, you can get to yell at your opponent for old men and children. And girls, right? I think some girls are in there and stuff. So yeah, but then I go like they're happy to criticize the Germans or Russians or Allied war crimes, but then they're quite happy to be like, oh, but I love Roman history. I'm like, they're all just as bad as each other. They're all enslaving people, killing people, raping people. It's all going on. It's all bad. Um, yeah. So I don't understand those people, but you know what? Each to their own. I have friends that will only play Warhammer. They don't see the point in reenacting historical events through wargaming figures, and that's fine. Each to your own, each to their own. I'm the opposite. I'm like, why would I want to do fantasy and sci-fi because it's not real? It's I don't like that. I never have. I've always been World War Two. When it's on the telly, I want to watch it on telly and do all of that stuff. So that's what attracts me. We're all different. Yeah, you guys liked Ben's comment. That was a good one. Have fun, Tiny. I found a lot of people worry about painting SS uniforms and stuff, but then as soon as you paint your first one, you actually figure out this like Pedar and Oakleaf. It's actually not that difficult to get right. Well, not get right. It's not that difficult to do. And once you start doing it, you get the hang of it. Like when I started painting my Oakleaf, my 20mm Oakleaf guys, as soon as I painted one, I was like, okay, this isn't as hard as you first think it is. It's just initially getting it. We see the ones without bad history as the Polish, Danes, or Germans or Russians. Yeah, same as the British. We have really good history, and everyone loves us. And no matter wherever we go, everyone loves the British. Although I'm Australian now, although we still have bad history, but just not as much history as everyone else. I've got to stop pretending I'm British. I've lived in Australia a lot longer than I have, a lot longer than I did in England, that's for sure. So this is the first live I've done since the channel was banned. So I was doing the Facebook lives, but it seems to be, well, the fact that I'm pulling like between 15 and 20 people watching, I think is pretty good. I've seen other people with lots and lots of subscribers where they pull these sorts of numbers. So I think that's good. So maybe I'll do a few more live streams going forward. Maybe once every few weeks, just chew the fat with you guys. Oh, I can see my table's really dusty as well. Yeah, my channel was banned for 10 days. Let's not go there. You guys don't want to hear this story again. No, it wasn't 10 days, was it? It was Christmas Day. Yeah, Christmas Day. How could I forget? Christmas Day. I think it's about the 2nd of Jan, 3rd of Jan. It came back, and it was banned because they used a German marching song. I used a German marching song, and they didn't like it, so they banned me. And because I used 3 videos with that same song in, it was a straight up ban. There was a warning. It was so strange. Oh God, I'm probably going to bore everyone. I'll make it very quick. If you're going to be banned, you get 7 days. So you get. I think it said after 7 days your channel is going to be banned, and then it had been like 14 days or something because this is the very start of December. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to be banned. I didn't back up anything. I didn't do anything. This is really stupid on my part. And yeah, then the channel was banned just like that, gone. Christmas Day, gone. I had no warning whatsoever, other than you're just going to be banned in 7 days, and it elapsed by a week. But yeah, we fought it, and we got a good result in the end. I had to be very careful because I was like, if I go across all guns blazing and say, you guys, they're terrible, etc., they're going to be less inclined to be like, we'll give this guy's channel back. Like, they're going to be more inclined to be like, you're an arsehole, I don't want to deal with you. So I was like, if I'm nice about it, and if I try and take it in a really soft approach, then they'll do it. It worked. What can I say? It worked. I had another friend. Oh, he wasn't a friend. He reached out when I posted my YouTube video about being banned. He reached out. He was in a very similar situation to me, and he had a different approach. He went in very forcefully, never was disrespectful, but he was very much like, this isn't on. This goes against your policy, and he was fine, and they were constantly pushing back. It was only because a local politician, I believe, got involved that he managed to actually get his channel back. So yeah, I think it helped that I was a lot more relaxed about it. I was apologetic. I said, look, I didn't realize that was the problem. I won't do it again, and I haven't done it again. I've used my own lyrics that I pay for. Yeah, you can't offend the bots. If you offend the bots, then it's game over, and that's what happened. The bots were offended, and then the BS thing was you had to appeal, and the appeal goes to a bot. So what is even the point? You get a bot reviewing your appeal, and it just declines you straight away anyway. So I didn't like that. I think if you have appeal, it should be through a human. It had to be a bot because it was immediate. The reply was immediate. There was no way a human could have been able to type out anything, you know. Yeah, bots are awake, yeah, that's for sure. 24/7, 365 days a week. That's true. That's very true. But the human I got was he was nice enough, reassuring, and then the ones I dealt with, it just took a long time. I mean, the process was more than 7 days to get the channel unbanned. Um, but yeah, I should count myself lucky. I'm unbanned, and we're doing really well. I mean, we've gone over 7,000 subscribers, closing in on 7,500. I think when I was banned, I was below 6,000. So, in a short space of time, we've gone up quite well. And yeah, so I should count myself very lucky. Very, very lucky indeed. I did try X, but that got nowhere. That got nowhere. Any unusual in terms of other platforms though, Rumble and that, I don't think it's more for like gaming and stuff. I looked, I was like, there's unless maybe we could break in and be like, oh, we're the new people on the block here and this is what we do, but there was nothing. There was not hardly any like wargaming or painting models stuff on there. So I was like, it's gonna go nowhere. Any unusual projects in future plans? Unusual projects. Unusual projects. Yeah, so maybe my Anglo-Zulu war stuff, so the Rorke's Drift. I'm trying to think. Working on the American War of Independence or Revolutionary Wars, depending on it's the same thing. Just little answers like Zulus, yes. I've actually got the Zulus. These are the warlord ones. I've got some. I've made some up, so I will be doing them sooner rather than later. But I can't give you unusual plans, but I can give you in the immediate future. So we've got 8th Army. No, we don't. We have DAK, Italiari, or Eschi, whichever one you want to believe, or favour. They're both exactly the same. Coming up, we've got Flames of War, British for the Far East, Japanese for the Far East, Flames of War, British tanks for the Far East. American for the Revolutionary Wars. We've got the American, not the militia, the actual American soldiers. What else did I have planned? Numidians for the epic. So I suppose that's unusual. Numidians for the Punic Wars. So this week I'll be filming Japanese, Numidians, SS camouflage, but using Vallejo paints. That'll be this week as well. And did I say Americans for the Revolutionary Wars? Did I say that? If I said that, then them. And I've got 172. I suppose this is unusual. This is unusual. So I'll be doing the Hiroshima flag raise. It's Italiari again, but it was like $15. It was cheap as anything. So I'll be giving that a go. Be making a video out of that. I think that'll be a fun one. It might be niche, but it might be enjoyable. Covers the US Marines at least anyway. What do you think of Warlord Zulus? Look, I think they're okay. I think they're good. I think they're quite getting on now, though. I'd like to see a newer sprue come out. You can tell that they're a little bit dated, is what I'd say, in terms of their quality when you compare them to their new plastics. What do you think about making a Winter Snow type camo for the Panzers? Now, that is a good idea. I've always been torn, though. and that's what's put me off doing it. Do I go the route of just airbrushing white on, um, or do you want like hairspray chipping and stuff? I'm sort of leaning towards airbrushing whitewash on. I'm not sure if I'm sold on the hairbrushing technique. I just had to write 3 articles on the American War Movement. Usually, when my editor gives me tasks like this, I end up buying shitloads of related images. But for some reason, not this time. Maybe the new epics. The new epics are really nice. Are really nice. However, if you want variety in your poses, like there's none of them firing, unless you get like the riflemen, the actual like sharpshooters, I suppose. And apparently the bayonets are the wrong way around, and there's a few other things. I don't know anything about the period. Same with Napoleonics. I know almost nothing. So I'm not the person to ask about the historical details. Hence why in my video I didn't do like an unboxing, because I know nothing about it, and there's already loads out there. Yay to Numidians. Yeah, but this is only for you. I wasn't going to do Numidians, but because you're a Panzer race, Oscar, and you've been wanting it and you've been asking for it constantly, I will do you Numidians, I promise. Interested to see how you get on with the DK. I really enjoyed doing some desert rats. I'm going to go with the like tropical green and the desert trousers. So tropical green shirt, desert trousers. I think that's what I'll do, just so you got both color palettes in one video. Maybe video with rating viewers' paintings. I've toyed with that idea, but because somebody's told me to do that in the past, but I don't feel like I'm qualified enough to be like, your painting's great and your painting's awful, because I don't rate my painting that highly. And we're all our worst critics, I suppose, but I don't think my painting's anything special. So to rate other people's work, I'd feel like a hypocrite if I said your work's poor, or it needs to be improved here, or something, because yeah, I don't feel like I'm at that level where I can be like, this is what you need to do to improve. I just give people what I do, and if people ask for suggestions, then I try and help them where I can. But yeah, I don't know about rating other people's painting. That is a hard one. That'd be fun to see. Sometimes the rough snow paint jobs looks wrong, and like you don't do a good job even if you look accurate. So I like airbrushing. Like, yeah, I agree with you, Tanya. Some people do some really good chipping, but I'm like, if you're looking at it, especially like a 15 or 20 millimeter model, if you're looking at it from a soldier's perspective, would it look chipped, or would it just look like a rough white spray job? And I'm more on the thinking that it would be like a rough white spray paint, opposed to a spray paint that's been like chipped away. I don't know. I've never been in combat. I've never had to whitewash a tank before, so I don't know. The Germans had camo that is white with brown spots, with brown tracks to blend in with the ground. It focuses more on the white snow, the higher it is, and the brown grade towards the bottom. I think I've seen that on the Panzer Freeze. Yeah, I should do it. Like, I haven't got Panzer Grey as a tutorial. I haven't got a British tutorial. So these are all planned. I've got all this stuff planned. I've got like British tank, that is, like British tanks for the desert. I haven't done that. It's all planned. So yeah, I will definitely do that. I think that's a really good suggestion. Bad idea to judge others sets a bad vibe. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, I'm all for praising, and that's all I do. Regardless if you've painted a potato, I'll still tell you you've done a really good job, because I genuinely think it. I've been there. You know, we've all got to start somewhere, and you need encouragement to keep going. And that's my That's my train of thought. In terms of being critical or giving people advice, I will only offer advice when it's asked. I won't, which I suppose is what would happen, right? I'd say, I'm going to be doing this video if you want me to do advice. But then again, I'm not qualified. You only have to hear my videos. I don't say the right things. I call a layer a highlighter. When I say modulation, it's not modulation, but it's my form of layering a highlight. It's my form of modulation. It's the way I do stuff. And it's the way I've interpreted other people's stuff throughout the time. So I don't feel like I'd be qualified to give people advice in the form of send me your stuff and I'll tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. But also, it's very flattering that you think that I could do a video like that, because it must mean that I'm doing something right. Like that crummy chalk white in winter 1941. Yeah, Panzer Grey for a tutorial might be a good idea, with Battlefront bringing out early war later in the year. Now that is a good idea. Yes, maybe I'll wait for early war. I seem to have a really good relationship with the guys at Battlefront in New Zealand, so they might help us out, send us some stuff, and I'll definitely do that. I have to go and say thanks. Following British own recipe on Empress Paris was running an army I can be proud of. Cheers. That's amazing, Sammy. I'm so chuffed. Thank you so much. And that's the only reason why I do this. Like, you know, I think that's why everyone does it, let's be honest. But I always love hearing positive when people are confident. I watched a lad called Panzers, because I only ever used to play Flames of War. And I watched a lad called, I call him a lad, he's a lot older than me, but he's a lad, Frank at Panzers. And his tutorials were to the point, gave you the paints, told you what he was doing, nice zoomed up shot, no fancy graphics, no narration. It was him talking. There was no like scripted. It was just him natural talking. In that period of watching him, I think I studied him for a few months. My painting went from being pretty poor to something I was super proud of. My whole technique has changed significantly since that period. I paint nothing like Frank does now. He's got a completely different style of painting to me. But he got me to this point. If it wasn't for Frank and his painting tutorials, I wouldn't even be sitting here with you guys or have the confidence to do it. My wife used to say to me before I watched that, oh, you should do YouTube, you should do this. And my painting was awful. Like, it was not worth even putting on Facebook. And I used to do it, get a few likes and people, oh, well done, sympathy votes. So once I started doing this, all I wanted to do was help people. And it wasn't so much like, this is how you paint. It's just more so, here's the colors that I use, and this is what I'd recommend. I think it's the closest colors. So yeah, super long-winded reply to say thank you, Sammy. I really appreciate it. I like to say, I'm qualified, but I don't want to discourage others' hobbies, as it is stress relief. It might be the one keeping from someone going off the deep end. We all should make each other better. I couldn't say any better myself. When my wife and I lost our son during the pregnancy stage at 30, close to 36 weeks gestation, we went through obviously a horrible time, and the only way I could get rid of all that stress was by doing this. And this is the reason why I did a YouTube as well, is because I wanted to become monetized, make money, and start giving back to a charity that was really, really helpful when we lost my son. And already, with the help of you guys and you guys watching my videos, supporting me, sharing, etc., have made my dream come true by donating. I think we managed to donate like 4 sessions last time to this charity, which was just like insane. And this isn't a charity that just sits on its ass and does nothing, and they say all the right things to do nothing. I've seen them do it. I've been there. I've been in that room with that charity when I needed it. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky indeed to have you guys supporting me and the support I've had. And the fact that I've been able to do this, be able to remove that stress, but then also help people and then help myself at the same time has been great. God, this is getting deep, guys. This is getting very deep as well. This YouTube live sesh, but it's great. You know, if we can, we're all bros here. If we can help each other out, and we do. I'm contemplating, because once a year I do this for the charity. I'm contemplating doing like a 12-hour live stream or something like that challenge, and just ask for small donations here and there to keep me going throughout the 12-hour live stream. I mean, 12 hours is nothing. I was going to do 24 hours, but my wife was like, maybe just cut it down to 12 hours. Like a 12-hour live stream of me just painting or something, to help raise money and awareness. I don't know if I'll do it, but that's what I'm toying with. I mean, I can't run a marathon or anything. I can't run anyway because I'm so unfit, but something hobby related. 11 hours, 11 minutes is my record sesh. Jesus, that is a sesh and a half. Put it this way, I'd need lots of water, lots of KFC, and lots of painting to get me through it. So I have to have my wife on speed dial for the KFC at least. But yeah, 11 hours. That's a long sesh. But I'm like, how would I do it? I'd need a toilet break, obviously, to allocate myself like a couple of minutes every hour or every 2 hours. And then over what period do I do it overnight so that the challenge is harder so I don't fall asleep? Yeah. Tony's live streams are always entertaining. I've jumped in quite a few myself. Painting Russian markings by hand was a personal favourite of mine, you absolute maniac. That's what decals are for, although the hand painting looked much nicer. 12 to 15 hours straight? God, you guys aren't making me feel like I'll be doing anything special then, so maybe I do have to do the 24-hour challenge. 24 hours of painting though? Oh God, I don't know. But then that's the point of a challenge, right? I still would only get like 2 things painted, let's be honest. Yeah. Although you don't have cricket in the US, or I assume you don't play it at least, Tony. That's pretty much what I used to do. I'd spend like 10 hours of my day on a Saturday playing cricket for about 5 minutes worth of action and then go, why am I wasting my whole day playing cricket? Yeah, exactly. Not so much the eyes for me, but the arse cheeks. The arse cheeks would be burning. They're already starting to go numb sitting here, and we've already been on the live stream for an hour. I was only meant to do it for half an hour to an hour as well, so I'll start wrapping it up in a minute. But you guys are seeming to enjoy it. We're getting 20 people in, which is good. It's getting to pee a lot. Maybe I should drill a hose into the toilet so I don't need to get up. I can just keep the 12-hour stream going constantly. That would be interesting. Make you get up. Yeah, that's a good point. Keep the blood flowing. Actually, it was my lower back recently. My lower back, God, maybe I'm getting old. My lower back was hurting from painting. I think I was in a rush to paint. I've been going crazy with my 20mm AB British Airborne. My aim is to have a full platoon done for battle group with support in the next couple of months, and I think I'm almost there. Actually, I can see I'm almost there. So yeah. Toilet breaks allowed. Yeah, toilet breaks definitely need to be allowed. And snacking. Gotta have snacks, right? Gotta have some sort of snack to make it all worthwhile. But yeah, this has been it's been an enjoyable live stream, guys. Good day, mate. Pod, how's it going? Thanks for joining. I'm just about to wrap it up, unfortunately. You've joined just a bit on the late side. The perfect height dialed in between seat and table heights. We got someone went into the kitchen counter to hang out with my wife, and it was more bending over and hurting back. Yeah, I remember I used to paint on the floor when my wife was working on the computer just to be able to chat to her and that. Starship Troopers and the 13th Warrior. Yeah, I could probably watch Zulu and A Bridge Too Far. They are my go-to war movies. And then Band of Brothers, obviously. Yeah, maybe I should watch those on repeat. That'd be good. But yeah, guys, I'm probably gonna start to wrap this up. I really appreciate everyone jumping in. I might try and make this a regular thing on a Sunday night because I think it might be enjoyable. It won't be every Sunday night because I would never get anything done. But maybe every couple of weeks, do a live stream. Get you guys come in and ask whatever questions you want to do. Just chew the fat with me. But yeah. To answer the last few questions, is there a historical era that you will never paint? That's a great question. I don't think so. There's historical eras that I'm not interested in. Like the English Civil War, for example. It's not a big interest to me. My good friend Little Lances, he paints some fantastic miniatures, don't get me wrong, but that sort of pike and shot era is not really of interest. I don't know why, it's just not. Egyptians, not really my thing. That sort of era. So the Egyptians, and then what we're talking, what's his name? The who was it? The Macedonian guy. Can't remember his name now. That sort of period. I wouldn't not paint them. It's just not as much of an interest to me. American Civil War, yeah, that doesn't appeal to me either. So the English Civil War, American Civil War, War of the Roses does. 100 Years Wars, that appeals to me. The Crusades, especially at the first, second, and third Crusade, they all appeal to me. Napoleonics isn't a bigger. It doesn't really appeal to me. But I've got them planned for the future, definitely, because they're a big hit with a lot of people. Like Spanish War of Succession, Austrian War of Succession, all of those succession crisis, like the Byzantine Empire. Again, I just don't know anything about them. To be completely honest, only from what I watch on YouTube and stuff. So it's not that I wouldn't paint them. It's just like these American War, Revolutionary War, War of Independence. I know nothing about it, but I'm happy to paint them. Anything, especially if they're willing to send me samples for free, then of course I'd paint them. Ancient Rome, I love ancient. I love learning about ancient Rome. I know nothing about it. Like Caesar's war against the Gauls, that would be fun to do. Against the Britons, that would be fun to do. All that stuff. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to paint them. This time is great for me on a Sunday. All right, that's awesome to know. It works for my American viewers as well. Estonian War of Independence. I said I know nothing about the American War of Independence. Times that by 100 for the Estonian War of Independence, which I'm very sorry about. Not a fan of long hair and lacy folks, no. Although I don't mind. I love the pirate era, just the pirate history. But again, you can't really paint too many pirates. You need more of the ships than the pirates, and I cannot be asked with all that rigging. That would just take too long. Do you like Vietnam? I've painted some Vietnam stuff. Do I like Vietnam era? Yeah, I do. Do I know a lot about it? No. Do I know a lot about World War II? No, actually. To be honest, I don't know a lot about anything, especially when it comes to history. Um, that still doesn't stop me from painting it. Like, I've got a bookcase behind me, pretending that I read all those books. Do you think I've read any of them? No. But I pretend that I've got a bookcase. Or I pretend I've got a lot of knowledge of World War II because they're all, only World War II books behind me and some computer games on the top row. Um, so I give the illusion that I might know stuff about World War II. The only parts of World War II that I feel confident that I know a bit in is the British in the Far East and the British Airborne, specifically at Arnhem. Um, the rest of it is just you learn as you go. Like I know the basics and dates, but I'm not good with like what division fought here at what time and who was the commander of that division. Like I only know that for like the First Airborne Division. Um, so yeah, I think we're all the same though, right? Yeah, Panzer is German for pizza. Pizza. There's a Panzer shop as well I think it was called Panzers in the UK. It was just like a Walmart for you, Tony. So strange. I don't know who would have called it Panzers. I don't know, but it gives me hope that my channel might become popular just by uh, pure coincidence. Because maybe somebody will be looking up the shop, not the painting channel. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. It's coming close to 11 o'clock at night, which is probably very early for a lot of scale model painters or war gamers, especially with children. But for me, I will start falling asleep very soon. So I'm going to end it here. I've achieved absolutely nothing that I had planned, but I really enjoyed our conversation. So thank you so much for keeping me company and enjoying our chats. And I look forward to doing it again soon. The Almori World War II podcasts are great to listen to while painting and learn while your hobby. Yes, I've been listening to Almori and James Murray, is it? James Murray, yeah. Thanks for live stream, Keywell. Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me company. I really do appreciate it, as I've already said. All right. Thanks, guys. Let me end this one here. Bear with me. I think it's that one.